Nation, what is up? Welcome into DNVR Buffs Primetime. We are presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. every day. Illegal Pete's is always our go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. My name is Jake Schwanitz. Joining me again, the legendary Andre Simone.
My guy.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
My guy, Jake. What a weekend. Fun little weekend.
Crazy weekend. Happy Martin Luther King Day also.
Happy Martin Luther King Day. Absolutely. Up in Studio B, a little hockey game going on downstairs.
Yep.
A very early hockey game for some MLK. And we get to be up here. There was almost too much content to consume.
Almost.
Yeah, and yet I was disappointed that there wasn't more.
I know.
That's the thing about Prime.
Welcome to the beat.
Yeah, that's the thing about Coach Prime. Lots of content to consume, yet wanting for more.
Yep, always wanting for more. We are in Studio B today, a little different looking. I can't even remember the last time I did a Buff show up here. I think it was in season, so it's been a while.
Yep.
But plenty to talk about, Andre. What a weekend it was. People are already mentioning it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Cormani McClain. After we left you guys on Friday, there were rumors. Mike Farrell of Mike Farrell Sports tweeted out Cormani is visiting Colorado according to his sources.
Yeah.
I
think it's Mike Farrell.
Farrell. Sorry.
I've influenced you poorly. Now everyone gets that kind of pronunciation. Yeah, okay. Mike Farrell, he put it out there.
Yep.
You're scouring videos on IG live.
I was sent screenshots of videos.
Those are sent to you.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And then, yes, I put that tweet up on Saturday, basically confirming that he was there. Cormani confirms it himself on Sunday.
Okay, so talk me through this.
Do you want to hear the whole timeline?
His number's 7.
Yes.
So why was the chain so important as a follow-up?
Because it's a 7 chain, and he wears it a lot. He wore it at the Under Armour All-American game. It's all over his Instagram.
Yeah, he's just number 7.
Yeah, it's like prime. He's 21.
Right.
Which is why...
John Elway, old number 7. He's new number 7.
Exactly. Tiff, if you want to put that tweet up I sent you, Cormani posted these, not clips, many pictures on his Instagram page.
Yep.
21 plus 7 equals Buffs, question mark? Maybe. We'll see.
Could be.
Yeah, that one is awesome. I love that second picture.
That one is amazing. He is... I mean, you said it to me.
Yeah,
like
you can see the length of his arms right there.
So absurd, man.
He is a great recruit, great prospect.
So absurdly long, yeah.
If you want to, if you can throw on the film too and just let that roll. Here's Cormani McClain's huddle from his junior year. It's very, very impressive stuff. Anyways.
There's a reason the kid is like the top-ranked non-quarterback in the entire country.
Right. So let's go back.
Thank you very much.
Through this timeline. Thank you, Tiff. Going back to October.
Yeah.
Many people had Cormani McClain pegged as a Florida Gator commit.
Yes.
October 27th comes. He commits to Miami.
Yeah.
Been committed there since. Then he said he was going, or his mom tweeted out actually.
In both those cases, him kind of connecting himself to some coaching staffs that had just come into place, right?
Yep.
Which I think is an interesting maybe trend to point out.
Right.
Yeah.
With Napier at Florida,
right.
Cristobal at Miami, and now, of course, Prime at
CU, yes.
Going back to December, though, Cormani's mom tweeted out that he was going to sign on early signing day, which was December 21st, I believe. I can't remember exactly when it was. Later that day, his mom tweets out that Cormani's not going to sign.
False alarm.
We next see Cormani McClain at the Under Armour All-American game on January 3rd, where he said he was going to be signing on the 15th. The 15th was yesterday. It comes and goes. We get that post.
And refuses any interviews.
And refuses.
All he says is that he'll be signed. Now, what was the verbiage? He'll be signing or announcing the 15th?
He will be signing. That's what he said. Which, obviously, he couldn't really sign
Yeah.
because signing day is not till the 1st.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, of course, the CU stuff comes out this weekend. He was obviously there. Now it seems kind of like a 2-horse race. It might even only be a 1-horse race, though, because he obviously cut off communication to Miami's coaching staff. On Friday, they were supposed to meet him at Lakeland High School. He's not there.
Surprise, surprise. Where is he?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how far Miami gets now. Obviously, CU looks to be in the lead. We got about 3 or 4 crystal balls from 247 Sports over the weekend and on Friday. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
The 15th comes and goes. We get an Instagram post.
Right.
And that's about it.
Whole family's there.
Whole family was there, too.
Which I think is important because you mentioned Mama McClain with the 2 tweets about, early signing day was supposed to be, and then the retraction tweet, essentially. I wonder if Mama McClain is hoping he'll stay closer to home in Florida, and she's maybe the last hurdle here for Prime and his coaching staff and getting Cormani to join the squad in full. You mentioned we're presented by Illegal Pizza.
Yes.
Very good. Very
I got to say,
You're a
don't
pro,
worry.
bro. You're a pro.
Thank you.
I'm so dialed in on Cormani stuff. I forgot myself.
As you mentioned, his family was there over the weekend, and as I Swear TV said, whole family loved it. I tweeted out some pictures on my account, on the Buffs account at Jake DNVR, at DNVR_Buffs on Twitter if you want to go check those out. Yeah, it really seemed like the whole family was enjoying it. Took pictures with Coach Prime. And Coach Prime's talked about this before. The parents and the mothers of these recruits, they know who he is.
Yeah.
They saw him at his prime when he was prime time on the field. That carries weight. It carries weight a lot.
For sure. More so it would carry weight for me how he... I mean, it's easy to say family. It's another thing to live it. And it's another thing to have Bucky filming you at all times and have Shador and Shiloh in your program and have his daughter there. Like, you watch one of the recent well-off. She's like putting butter on his toast and they're giving each other a hard time about the kid rankings. Like, that man really is a living example of family. I mean, he is surrounded and with family at all times. He lives it. And you can see it in how he interacts with other people. And I mean, you'd have to be comfortable with everyone you're around if your son is filming you everything you do.
Right.
Like,
of course.
It's a different deal.
Yep.
So yeah, the more Prime content I consume, the more that is just smacks you in the face.
For those of you that don't know, Andre, GM of DNVR, right?
Sure, yeah.
You used to be on a lot of these shows until you took the step up. You've seen a lot of well-off content over the last week.
I have, yes.
Yeah.
This couple of weeks have forced me, and it's...
You're bought in.
I'm bought in. It's harder and harder not to click on the well-off daily link that appears on my YouTube feed.
Yep.
It's just outstanding. And then when you have stuff like this going on, a weekend like this, it's especially hard to stay away from any of it.
Back to Cormani McClain, though. On his Instagram post, Travis Hunter commented, duo, ? With the bandit emoji. This is a very, very interesting aspect to this. Of course, Cormani McClain and Travis Hunter, both Florida kids. I don't think they went to the same high school, but you can assume they know each other. And you would assume Travis Hunter is playing his role in trying to get McClain to Boulder.
Yeah, you'd think so.
My question to you, if the Buffs do get Cormani McClain to commit, does that free up Travis Hunter to focus more on wide receiver? He's going to play both ways. We know this.
Yeah, I think it does certainly free him up to play more wide receiver. Might also free him up the fact that they signed yet another cornerback today.
They did, yes.
Which, Nico Reed, who we've talked of.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it would free him up to play more wide receiver. But, of course, I think Travis would still give us some snaps at corner, right? Still stick to it.
How tantalizing would it be, though, to have Cormani McClain on one side.
Oh my god.
And Travis Hunter on the other, though. I mean, it would be the top cornerback, maybe just recruiting at this point. There's probably veteran duos that are more established at this point right now around college football.
Right.
But just from a hype and from a potential standpoint, not much can beat that.
Yeah, and I would argue you haven't seen a cornerback duo like that in the Pac-12 since like...
Washington's had some
duos. Since Washington was doing their thing a few years back, you know, I mean...
There's Byron Murphy and
exactly.
That
Sidney Jones, one of those guys, Elijah Moore. So some...
Gordon.
Yeah, like nastiness. Some true nastiness. And what's intriguing is Travis would be the slightly more twitched up, explosive guy. Cormani would be more that length, smoothness. Like it'd be and then you have guys like Nico Reed. I'm blanking on, I was watching highlights of him.
Trevor Woods?
No, the kid from Ole Miss that signed today.
Oh, what is his name? I got it right here. Kendrick Breedlove.
Breedlove, yeah. And then you'd have Breedlove in the mix too. Like, I don't know, everyone was telling us we were maybe too low on the safeties last episode. Start to feel better about those. You start to feel better about the corners. Yikes. So, yes, to answer your question, I think it would free up Travis Hunter to focus more on wide receiver.
Just to kind of talk about their games and compare them, Tavion Beasley's coming as well, as I saw our TV says. He is a JSU transfer in. Just watching Cormani McClain's tape, and I mean this no slight to Travis Hunter, but Cormani McClain strikes me so much more as a defensive-minded player. Just the mentality he has, and you can see it in his tackling. I mean, when he comes downhill, that man is coming to do some damage. He needs to get in the weight room. Everyone knows that. You can see that.
Yeah.
But when I see Travis Hunter, I don't really see that same edge on the defensive side of the ball. I see it for him on the offensive side of the ball. When he's got the ball in his hands, he becomes a different player.
Yeah. I mean, you were hypnotized by his route running.
He's so
like,
smooth.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as KB says, Nico Reed playing in the nickel. If you have those two at cornerback, though,
oh, it's perfect.
So much speed. Another aspect to this. So this came out just before it went live. 4-star wide receiver, and CU commit Omarion Miller says, I think we're sitting pretty good in terms of McClain coming to Boulder.
Well, and that seems to be the consensus from most of these recruiting services, as well as most now predicting that Cormani will eventually end up a Buff.
Yep, looking that way. We got to talk about the well-off thumbnail. Because
the thumbnail heard around the world, absolutely.
This was it was so fun to follow yesterday. They posted the video. Yeah. The thumbnail is straight up Coach Prime and Cormani McClain on the field, lining up one-on-one across from each other.
Right.
A few hours go by, and then we switch to the thumbnail of Coach Prime on his bike in between the hallway of the facility and the indoor practice facility, chilling there. There's a white wall, which Bucky puts the photo just faded a bit.
God. It's amazing.
It's there. It's pretty noticeable. And then a few hours later, he keeps it there, just makes it a little bit smaller. Now it's gone, though.
Now it's gone. Since it being taken off the thumbnail, we have the IG post from Cormani.
Yes, exactly.
So because there's, from when we talked on the pod Friday, so Friday afternoon, it was very hush-hush and more just rumors. And you see the number 7 on the IG Live videos, but it's all extremely hush-hush till like midday yesterday?
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's almost 48 hours of like, most people knew, and you're hearing things and you're kind of seeing things. But Cormani doesn't come out with his photos and his posts until like 48 hours later.
Right.
So in those 48 hours, Bucky's having fun with it. On top of that, the headline of the actual YouTube video is, "This might be the biggest recruiting weekend so far for CU and Coach Prime," all caps.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just having a blast with it, man.
It was tons of fun.
It was incredible.
I learned a lot about Miami fans this weekend.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Great people.
Great people.
Fine perspective on like, hey,
yeah.
If Cormani doesn't come to us, it's okay. Another talented Floridian will. No problems here.
Trico says ex-Miami players on a rampage on Twitter about Cormani McClain.
Yeah.
It was a battlefield out there.
It's wild how much. I mean, this kind of stuff shakes these schools and their fan bases to their core.
This was my formal introduction to recruiting Twitter and the craziness that college football recruiting can be.
So fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Loved it.
No, lots to stay tuned for. It was incredible.
Yep, and we'll stay tuned on Cormani McClain. Unless you have anything else to say about him, I think we're going to table that discussion.
No, I think on Cormani we can move on.
We covered all our bases.
Yeah, but man, is this exciting.
Yes. If you guys have any questions, make sure you get those in now. We'll star them and talk about them at the end of the show. Also, hit that thumbs up button if you're in here.
And I swear TV, I think, is kind of making like a low-key great point. Like Miami fans at this rate could just be the reason Cormani doesn't want to go to that bum-ass school, you know? Because like, yeah, you act like this.
Right.
Who wants you?
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time that you did anything?
About the same time that CU won a national championship.
Yeah, it's crying Nebraska kid. Do I have a crying Nebraska kid? It's 0-1. It's 0-1. Buffs destroy Nebraska, and Miami is an amazing team only to get upset by Maurice Claret and the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Natty.
Yep.
0-1. That's it. That's all you got.
Mm-hmm.
So move on with your life. Yeah.
We'll see who's in a better position after this year then.
It's a shame FSU had the Winston years, you know. Jimbo Winston. Or else we'd be saying the same thing.
They're coming too. I see them on Twitter also.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Oh yeah. They're way sadder than.
And Big LT says exactly how FSU did Travis last year.
Yep.
Yeah. So
100%.
And it's something Ryan talked a lot about too, because I can't remember who else. We were talking about a transfer or recruit or someone who CU was in deep with, and so was FSU. That he ended up going to FSU, and he said he saw a lot of it on the 247 message boards and stuff. So
that's crazy.
College football fans are wild. Never change.
Yeah, it's horrible. But please, like, leave some of these kids alone.
Yeah, seriously. Leave their families alone. My God.
Together, man. It's just,
yeah.
We're just football fans. Like, take it easy. Especially now that a commitment's not for life.
Right.
You can change your mind next year. Yeah. Like, come on, relax. The other thing is I think Miami feels all this momentum with Cristobal and having a top 5 class, and like losing the top dog in that top 5 class is going to hurt a lot, man. Mm-hmm. It's going to hurt a lot. All
right. We'll talk about the news. Before that, I want to tell you all about our friends, new friends at DNVR, friends of CHGO, Shady Rays. Woo-hoo. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes.
They're awesome, man.
They are awesome with their premium polarized shades.
Yeah.
They also, if you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked.
Yeah, it's amazing.
They're the best.
No, they really are. And they're like durable, like sturdy glasses, but they're at an amazing price. You use that code DNVR, you're going to get buy one, get one. So already designer glasses, both in design and quality of the lenses and the glasses themselves, at like a third of the price. On top of that, now you're getting a buy one, get one. So what was a third of the price now becomes, I don't know, half of a third. So it's an amazing deal. I got in on it with the wifey at Christmas, and then there was other add-on deals. Like, whew, they really take care of their people. So I would check that out if I was you and use that code DNVR.
As you said, go to shadyrays.com, use code DNVR, or visit them in-store at the Park Meadows Mall for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. Also, shout out to our new friends, Bacchus and Shanker. When you get hurt, Bacchus and Shanker are here to help. They've been helping those who are seriously injured in Colorado for more than 25 years.
Yes.
They offer no upfront fee to speak with them about your case. Also, no fee while they work your case, and no fee unless they win your case and win money for you.
Hell of a deal.
Bacchus and Schenker helps with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks. We can even help if you're injured at work. Call us at, ready for this phone number?
Lay it on me.
222-2222.
That's my number.
That's your number. You're Bacchus and Schenker.
I'm Bacchus and I'm number 2. I was born on the second.
I see.
Some real Shador love too.
Yes, legendary.
Well, also, you probably missed this, but Shador, you see him was walking red carpets and stuff.
I did see a lot of Shador this weekend. He was snowboarding with Jeremy Bloom.
Insane.
Which is awesome.
Insane.
And then my dude was grinding on Saturday night and last night in the indoor practice facility throwing the football. He is ready, man. I cannot wait to watch him play.
Amazing. Yeah, me too.
All right, let's get to some news because we did have a recruiting weekend. We did get some commits.
This is amazing.
On top of all the Cormani McClain stuff.
Yeah.
We'll start here. Taylor Upshaw commits to CU. He scheduled his visits quite a while ago. I believe it was 2 weeks before we even got to this last weekend.
Crazy.
He is, of course, a former Michigan Wolverine. Plays the edge, but as we saw watching some of his film, he can slide inside a little bit. I mean, he's not going to play the 1, but...
No, right. Not a 1 or a 0 technique, but I think a guy who could easily play some snaps inside. Him and Dominic both in that, like, mid-250s range. So probably best suited for a 4-man front, hand in the ground. And, yeah, can give you a few snaps as maybe... as far in as the 3-tech, 3-tech, the 4-eye. We're seeing him doing a little 4-eye, a little 5-tech. He could get you down. So yeah.
Versatile.
Bring some beef. Bring some just experience and strength to that defensive front, which they needed desperately.
Yep, and we talk about the 40-40-20 thing. This is a big, these are grad transfers. These are guys that are coming into play now.
Yes, sir.
Last year at Michigan, 14 games played for Upshaw, 12 total tackles, 4.5 for a loss. He did have 2 sacks, however, and an interception. Only played in 11 games combined from 2019 to 2021, so it seems like he's really starting to hit his stride. Michigan has a lot of depth. Got kind of stacked behind that.
Right. And, yeah, just that versatility. Played a good amount in the Big Ten Championship. We were rewatching some footage from that one. So but, yeah, a guy who I think is really going to be at his best kind of attacking that inside shoulder, using his power and kind of finding those most direct routes to the quarterback.
For sure. Next guy you already mentioned, Jordan Dominic, also transferred in.
Yes.
He played last year at Arkansas. Before that, massive signing.
Massive. This was a really big one,
So this is a 6-year player. He spent 2018-2021 at Georgia Tech, where he amassed 103 total tackles, 17.5 tackles for a loss, and 9 sacks with 2 passes broken up and 5 forced fumbles.
Yeah, and was really kind of coming along towards the end of last year.
As a Razorback.
For the Razorbacks, long.
You love saying Jordan is also from Polk County, which is where Cormani McClain is from, and...
we love you, Polk County.
They're developing a little bit of a pipeline out there in Florida. As I mentioned with Dominic, played last year at Arkansas as a senior. 13 games played, 34 total tackles, 9.5 tackles for a loss, 7.5 sacks. Great production, rushing the passer there. He also had 2 forced fumbles. And interesting note, he scored 2 touchdowns at Georgia Tech.
Jeez, crazy. These are guys who, if they were, especially Dominic, if he was an existing player on the Buffs roster, like from last year, and say Coach Prime had already been here 2-3 years, the importance of keeping him, it's like coaches talk about like, oh, the importance of that guy coming back to us and not going to the NFL in the olden days. Like he's a 10-star recruit to me.
Yeah.
Dominic's like an 8-star recruit for the Buffs. Between the premium position, the veteran nature, the fact that he was playing his best football last year, he's coming from the SEC. He's a huge signing. What stands out to me is his motor, his range, and his length when I watch him. He's not the bendiest necessarily.
Right.
but he'll work hard. He's got some explosiveness. He knows how to use that length, and he'll keep coming after you. He'll keep coming after you. He's not a guy who, once you block him the first time, he's done till the next play. He's going to keep coming, active hands. I'm really intrigued by this guy and what, the staff of Charles Kelly and Zimmerman and all those guys can do once they get their hands on him. Because I think he would have been fighting to get drafted at the end of day 3 and probably would have been on an NFL practice squad next season,
Yeah.
Even if he went undrafted, even if things didn't work out, he's talented enough. He was coming along well enough towards the end of that year to where
right.
I think that was his path. So to get someone who would have been in the league, in a building in the NFL next year to come and be like one of kind of the stars of your defensive front is absolutely huge. Huge, man.
Massive.
Yeah.
You can pencil him in as a projected starter at edge. I think we're going to do that this week. When Ryan comes back, we're going to kind of do our projected lineup for the year. That one should be fun.
Yeah.
Jordan Dominic measures in at 6'3", 251, as I mentioned, from Lakeland, Florida. That connection is building by the day.
Yep.
Next guy.
Arms look longer to me too. Like he's 6'3". I think we said Upshaw was 6'4". Dominic to me strikes me as the longer of the two.
Yes. And then Kendrick Breedlove, we already kind of talked about.
Yeah.
He committed to CU today.
Yep.
Was a former 2021 3-star recruit. This is just CFB reference. Listed him at 6', 175. Primarily a special teams player for the Rebels last year, and the last 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And then let me find this tweet because he seemed like he was a pretty highly sought after young transfer player. This is from CU at the game 1 who added me on Twitter. He had offers out of high school from almost every team in the SEC, including Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn, in the transfer portal for only 3 days. So
crazy.
He either had CU already penciled in as a place he wanted to go or was just a guy who had a lot of people after him.
Yeah.
I don't think he was in town this last weekend. But he had offers from A&M and Arkansas while he was in the portal. So
not bad. He's a
bad
guy
at all.
who you're not going to find much footage of from Ole Miss.
Right.
But if you go back to his high school tape, was listed as an athlete, which you and I are huge fans
Love
of.
those.
You can see the explosiveness and long speed as a running back from his high school footage. You can also see just how much his physicality stands up playing on defense, and as a wide receiver. He's kind of a ball hawk. Yeah, he's a sturdy dude, man. Like, I kind of think he could be like sneaky good.
A lot of people have added me saying this guy could start.
Yeah, no,
So
he's got some baller traits.
man, this secondary
Oh,
so much
ready.
improved.
Get ready, buddy.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah.
On that topic, new transfer from JSU, safety Cameron Silman Craig, was in Boulder this last weekend. He was getting familiar with his new school. I know Leonard Payne was also in Boulder. He is a grad transfer from Fresno State, plays defensive line / DT, a 6'3", 300-pound man.
Need it.
For sure. So a lot of these transfers and guys who have committed before this, I don't know, last week or so, kind of starting to get settled.
Right.
Those guys we just mentioned, Payne and Cameron Silman Craig, I'd have to imagine if they're there, they're going to be getting enrolled this week, which is when classes start.
You think so?
So we'll see exactly who else starts to show up in Boulder. Some other news to get to. I believe this was on Saturday. As we talked about, Micah Bernard was one of the players that was visiting this weekend, former running back at Utah. So Kavasier Smoke, I don't know if you saw this, but the former Kentucky running back who did commit to CU, I believe last weekend,
Yeah.
he tweets out on Saturday that he is verbally committed to CU. He wanted to make it clear that it's only a verbal commitment.
Okay.
I started theorizing myself. Maybe he found out that that Micah Bernard was there. Maybe not the happiest about that because Kavasier Smoke is a grad transfer himself. This is like his last run to try and gain some NFL draft momentum. And I think that he may not be the happiest about having potentially Bernard there, but man, if they have both,
I know.
How exciting
Papa
would that
Dylan
be?
Edwards and everyone, yeah, that'd be really exciting.
Smoke was there. Nicholas says, he may have been there this weekend. I think it was the weekend before that he was actually visiting and committed. I can't remember off the top. There's been a lot of guys that have come through Boulder recently.
Right.
Some other news. Dante Cephas, former Kent State wide receiver, was someone that we had. GFT says he deleted it. He doesn't see it anymore. So who knows what Cavassier Smoke is actually doing at this point. There we go. Coach Mo talked to him in that video today with the team. So maybe that situation kind of solved itself.
Okay, there you go.
Anyways, Dante Cephas, former Kent State receiver. He was a guy that Ryan and I were really hoping to get.
Yeah.
Obviously, he knows Sean Lewis's offense. We saw a lot of leanings towards Pitt and Penn State over the month or whatever he's been in the portal. Well, yesterday he commits to Penn State. So he's out. But in other news, another player has entered the transfer portal that I think CU should potentially kick the tires on and see what's up. And that is former Louisville linebacker Monty Montgomery.
Yeah.
He just entered the portal. He was a 70 tackle total tackle player for Louisville last year. 11 tackles for a loss, 6 sacks, had 2 interceptions, 2 passes broken up, and forced 4 fumbles. This guy is a dog. 5'11", 225, kind of that new age, smaller linebacker, sideline to sideline type. They need, I think they need another veteran linebacker alongside Bentley, the Clemson guy.
Yes, sir.
They do have guys on the roster, but not like this.
Yeah.
Would just be a massive get for this team, I think.
So give me an insight in what your life is like. When this kid enters the transfer portal, you see it first? Your people are DMing you like, hey, the Buffs, how are the inner workings? A little, inside baseball here, if you don't mind sharing.
So yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of Twitter alerts on, a bunch of accounts on Twitter alerts. On3, I believe, is the one that tweeted this out.
Okay.
So I saw that.
That's how you see it.
Yeah.
And then the content writes itself.
I mean, yeah, I looked up his stats and I was like, yeah, they could use this guy. So I tweeted out, CU needs another linebacker.
Easy peasy.
That's how it went.
It's that easy. Okay, great.
Shout out to everyone in the DMs, though, especially guys like Samad, who have been tweeting me like their top 10 potential guys that they want.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, that's been really cool to see.
Shout out to the DMs, but even the angry Miami fans in your DMs?
Not in the DMs. Just
they
in
don't
the
get
mentions,
a shout
just
out.
in the
Okay.
mentions.
Just the mentions. Okay, well.
And then Samad in the comments. I don't think Cephas was offered. It didn't look that way. So
we ever hear anything about that Memphis nose tackle?
Memphis nose tackle.
Oh, there's a big boy, and immediately everyone was adding Coach Prime. Okay. I can't just be throwing stuff at you. Don't you worry.
No
we'll
worries.
Get to the bottom of
I've also had a lot of people asking me about scholarships in the roster, where we stand right now.
Oh, man. Scully math?
Scully math.
That should be a segment.
It basically
that
is.
should be a segment for you guys.
So Brian Howell of the Boulder Daily Camera, he tweeted this out. He saved me from a lot of work because I was going to do this
Brian.
myself.
Thank you, Brian.
So thank you, Brian.
Good
he
work.
said CU is at 95 scholarship players. That is 10 over the limit at this point in time. Writing's on the wall there, guys.
Bye-bye.
There's going to be some players leaving the program.
Gotta pack your bags and maybe move on out.
Jack says he already committed the Memphis DT, and I think someone above, I think it was I Swear, said
thank you. See, I
went
knew
to Florida.
I knew our people would understand what I was
They're
talking
amazing.
about. Is this why Smoke has to put on social media that he's just verbally committed? Is it because we're already
Maybe
10 over?
I don't know.
It's actually more a program note than
That's a
it
good
is
point.
from anyone else. Yeah.
That's a good point. So who knows? But Chris says fat trimming coming after spring. Yeah. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm sure eventually as we get closer to spring ball, and of course as we get closer to camp in the summer.
Don't some of those Scully numbers need to be cleaned up a little bit before the final signing day?
Yes, because chances are they're gonna bring in more recruits too.
Yeah.
So guys are gonna be not kicked off the team, but asked to leave for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening. So,
yeah,
it's just an unfortunate aspect of coaching changes in college football. It's just how it is, man.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Brown from Jackson State is also at campus, says Aglin Law. I believe he committed also, right? Yeah. I can't even keep up with the commits anymore. It's
man.
crazy.
Yeah. I think I saw him on the well-off video with Cameron.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Simon
he
Craig.
was there. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. That
I remember
makes
that
sense.
now. Yes.
Yeah, that was fun seeing those guys.
What else do we got? Quickly on Marshawn Nealand, I haven't seen anything in terms of him officially withdrawing from the portal and not being a Buff. Sean says Uga has some dogs literally and figuratively that have hit the portal in the past few days. Hate to see him leave your dogs, Sean, but would love them with Prime. Ooh, Braska got one of them though. Hate that.
Yeah, I hate that for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, there's right now they've got a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
As far as slimming down some numbers, and then, but it does feel like that middle of the defense at this point, right?
Right.
Just on up the line, defensive tackles, off ball linebackers, safeties.
Mm-hmm.
If you find a few more blue chippers, we'll take them. You know.
Right. That question from D Regalo. If you're a grad transfer, are you considered a walk on? No, sir.
No.
As a scholarship player.
Damn
Last piece of news before we get to your guys' questions. Coach Prime's going to be on the Manning cast tonight. First guest.
Boy, he's everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere.
He's
owning
everywhere.
the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
So stay tuned to that for tonight's game. First guest, I believe they said it was like, well, kickoff's at what, 6:15 our time?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I think around 6:45 is when he's going to be on
That'll be cool. It's a Cowboys
the
game.
Manning cast. Yeah, that's a Cowboys game. Great point.
Mm-hmm.
Great point.
Yeah.
Didn't even consider that
It's
side.
a Cowboys game in Florida.
Yes. Wow.
I
All the
mean,
stars just aligning.
If I didn't know Coach Prime, he would have picked this one because they're such fertile recruiting territories,
Yep.
if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So,
Those pipelines, man.
Hey, you got to.
In full CU gear, yes. I'd expect him to be in full CU gear again tonight.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Let's get to the questions.
Let's do it. Let's do
the questions. But first, you guys know we love our Breck beers here at DNVR. They just released their Mile High City Golden Ale. We had our party on Friday for it. We had a
yummy,
blast. That's the Broncos country, but
I know,
there you
but
go.
I'm just showing more breath around, you know.
It's a beautiful can.
Yeah.
It was more beautiful a year ago when the Broncos weren't disgraced. But
Oh, boy, Jake.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry. Anyways, Breckenridge Brewery, we had a blast at the launch party on Friday. Check out their beer locator at www.breckbrew.com to find a beer near you. You can find my favorite Mountain Beach Sour. I think they still have some Christmas ale out there. If you're trying to scoop some of that up.
There you go.
Get
There you
yourself
go.
a Strawberry Sky.
Yeah, try the new Mile High City.
Golden Ale, yep.
Yeah.
It's delicious. I like it a lot, actually. Also, shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook, where it is divisional weekend, Dre. We just did bets before this show. We had a lot of fun talking through wildcard weekend and building a parlay for tonight because we hit one on Thursday was when I was on the show, right?
Yeah.
Hit a plus 1,200 or so.
Yep. Two underdogs, the over. So we had Niners. We just were big Brock Purdy guys over here. Niners, then the Jags outright, which like I thought the parlay was dead until it wasn't. You know, it's the meme like the guy. And then of course the G-men. We're not Kirk Cousins guys over here. And then we closed it all out with a beautiful over in the Dolphins Bills game.
Great weekend for us. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code DNVR. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL divisional round and get $200 in free bets instantly. Again, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, what's up, People, let's talk, man. Let's hit that thumbs up button while we're at it. First off, super chat from Big Burn A, 99 Center. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Lots of questions today. We have Jay Brown with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Jay. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. KB, why did Marshawn Elam fall through? Again, I don't really know too much about this yet. I've only done a little bit of digging, haven't really found out too much. Who knows? Maybe I would doubt Western Michigan had a better NIL offer or anything, but
well, you never know.
You never know these days.
Possible.
It's possible. We'll see, though. I don't think we've really got an official word. And when I was on his Twitter this weekend, he still had his CU stuff up on there. So who knows?
Okay.
I Swear TV, the pregame show posted Coach Mo intro speak meeting with the team today. Have you seen that? Yes, I watched it while I was kind of getting ready this morning. I was listening to it all. He detailed their workout plan, how it's 4 stages basically. And the top stage being elite. He said that most people don't get to elite because you have to be freakishly strong to get to elite. He mostly wants people in that alpha area. So that's the 3rd out of the 4th tiers. It was an informative video, though.
Kids back in school, though. Bucky told us at the end of yesterday's well-off media video that lots of content was coming today.
Right.
So sounds like it's kind of starting, and great that those kids are kind of, it begins.
It's starting
now.
Yeah. KB, what's going on with the other Jackson State players in the portal? That is a great question, sir. So on the Prime Tracker at thednvr.com, there are 5 guys who I have listed as potential Buffs targets. Shiloh, I mean, that's a shoo-in. That's an easy one.
Yeah. Shiloh's already posted his videos and stuff.
Right, exactly. The other one I would keep an eye on is Shane Hooks. He was JSU's leading receiver in 2022. I don't know exactly how many years of eligibility he has left. You can start that comment from Jack. We'll talk about that. But the other guys that I have pegged down, JP Andrade, who was Shador's backup quarterback last year.
Yeah.
And then another 2 safeties, which at this point the safety room is getting pretty packed.
Yeah.
So it may be writing on the wall for John Huggins and Herman Smith that they are going to be playing elsewhere. But we'll see. Who really knows?
I wonder if Shiloh's counting towards that 95 number that Brian put out.
I'd imagine so. I mean,
jeez, it's a lot of guys, man.
It is.
It's a lot of guys. You got to start trimming that pretty quickly.
Super chat from Big Burn. Do you think Shador will break any single season records, and has the center position been improved? The center position is actually a position that I don't think even really needed to be improved over this offseason. Van Wells is a very capable center. He was PFF's all-freshman center for their all-freshman team last year. I think Tyler Brown, when we talked to him, he said he would look into maybe playing some center. He plays guard mostly. And then I'm trying to remember which guy that they recruited, that they brought in. I think it was Hank Zelinskis. He plays center also.
Mm-hmm.
To your question about CU passing records, I'm trying to look that up.
Single season, I think it's very possible. Cepho has the all-time for total career yards.
Right.
At 9,000. That's going to be hard to beat. And actually, Steven Montez has him by just a few yards. I don't know.
So here we go.
Does Shador have enough years to get this,
To get the career, probably not.
Probably not. But single
next year,
season.
Yes. So Cepho set the record in 2014. 3,200 is the most passing yards in a season for a CU quarterback.
You can get that.
Shador can get that. He might get that by week 9 or 10.
Especially with this receiving core.
For
Sean
sure.
Lewis's offense. I mean,
yes.
Come on. Yeah.
In terms of single season touchdown passes, again, 2014, Cepho had 28. Shador threw 30 in his freshman season and 40 last year, I believe.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. Yeah. CU has had some great quarterbacks, but it's always been in more run-first offenses. So I think, Shador has a really great chance. No doubt about it.
Next question from Jack Pence. Did my Prime Hater nickname get RK approved? I'll let you know. I sent him the text with your suggestion, and I think he liked it. We'll find out tomorrow when we talk exactly where we're at there.
Yeah. Also, we're not ending this stream till we get to 200 likes, guys. Like just like Friday, Arcade can't come back and us be like, oh yeah, we settled for 150. Like the people couldn't get us to 200 when you're not here. I need you guys to carry me. I'm asking it as a personal favor. I need to see and work and bullshit online with RK every single day. So I need you guys now more than ever, please.
There are 870 people in here.
Come on, we can do this. We can do this.
From my guy Jamel, what is up, man? He asks, what are the major do's and don'ts as a new Buffs fan? Oh, this is a great RK question.
It's a great one. Yeah, he's, I'm sure, going to have some that we might miss out on. They're big on like no red on Nebraska week.
Yes, of course, no red.
Yeah.
I might have to save this question for tomorrow.
I think you kind of have to. He's going to be able to really get in.
Jamel, we'll save that for tomorrow, man. I'll do my best to remember, but if you drop that in the chat tomorrow, we'll for sure get to it.
I once got hyped and said like, let's go. Don't do that. You look like a real noob. It's just SCO. SCO does all the work for you. You don't need a let's in there or you're going to look like a noob. Yeah.
For sure. Next question, Tiff. My guy Lawrence, who would you say is the best overall player from last year's Buff team that will contribute this upcoming season? That's a great question. The obvious answer is Jordan Tyson, who is going to be hurt. So, to your point, maybe not going to be contribute this upcoming season.
Would it be Nico Reed then? Do you start to go on the O-line?
I may just go Van Wells, Van Wells. Hankerson was a bright spot as a freshman running back last year. And he was hurt a lot of the year. He had a foot injury he was playing through.
Right.
So if we get a healthy Anthony Hankerson, I would expect he could double his yardage for sure. He only ran for like 314.
Yeah.
He can run for 600 pretty easily.
Tyson, to me, would be a no-brainer if he was healthy.
Yeah, man. It's such a shame that happened to him against Oregon.
Yeah, it's a massive bump.
But he should be expected back at some point.
Yeah.
Really From John Walensky, are any schools doing 4 straight games away at the end of the season besides CU? Okay, so the Pac-12 season isn't set yet.
We've done the same thing, John. Yep.
Yeah.
Have no fear. That's not how it's gonna end up looking.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I was told in the next coming weeks we should get a finalized schedule for Colorado.
Yeah.
What else we got? Sean, what's up, man? Some more good talent hit the portal today. Thoughts on Keanu Williams from Oregon at DT, and what other immediate needs do y'all see for the Buffs? Well, if you give me a few seconds here, I can pull up Keanu Williams.
Yeah, we were talking about kind of the spine of the defense, right?
Right up the middle.
I think probably off ball right now is where you feel you've got the biggest need. And I mean, I don't know if Cormani didn't come to see you, I think maybe just a smidge more corner depth would not hurt.
So Keanu Williams, a 2021 4-star prospect, of course, committed to Oregon. Checking the stats, hasn't really been on the field. Probably makes sense why he entered the portal. Only played in 8 games, only has 5 total tackles in his time at school. As a recruit, he was listed at 6'5", 290. Now he is listed, well, that can't be right. It says 6'6", 280.
Yeah, looks like maybe we might have the wrong kid, huh?
No, it's the right kid. I just don't know where that listing came from, to be completely honest.
Gotcha.
Pulling up his page on Oregon, he's listed at 6'4", 300. That sounds...
more like it.
Yes.
More like it.
So, obviously a great recruit.
Yeah, highly touted recruit. So you'll see. Kind of a West Coast guy.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure we're going to have more transfers visiting over the weekend.
They've got the room, though.
Yes.
Interior D-line is one of the areas where you're going to find the most openings. So
right. Probably need at least 1, maybe 2 more guys on the D-line.
Exactly.
Next question. Do you think we get another wide receiver? If so, who? Xavier Weaver, been quiet. So he also visited this last weekend, South Florida wide receiver. He has been quiet. He didn't formally announce, but there you go. They've been trying to get another veteran wide receiver. They tried to go after Tyrone Broden. They've had other guys visit. Of course, Jimmy Horn's transferring in.
Yeah.
I would say at least one more veteran receiver, and then I'm completely fine on the wide receiver room. If it's Shane Hooks or whoever it is.
Weaver would be a get.
It'd be fun.
Lots of people high on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think will start on the front four on defense? It's a great question. Well, the two edge guys now.
It's probably Upshaw, Dominic on the edges.
Yep. So going through my list here. Well, I'll start off with Jalen Sami. He's on the roster. He's a big guy from last year. Didn't play greatly throughout the season. He was up and down at times. He did have some impact plays. But I wonder if Leonard Payne, the Fresno State transfer in, is kind of working his way into the starting lineup also.
That's kind of the nose.
Yeah, he's a 300-plus pound guy, so maybe he could be kind of your 1 to 3 or whatever you want to play.
Right.
Looking through the rest of the list, you have Shane Cokes also, transfer in from Dartmouth.
Yeah.
He plays defensive end is what he's listed at. They also brought in Taj Alston from West Virginia at edge. He had 7 sacks over the last 2 seasons. I think that's really it. So
I do think it's still an opening for that second.
Oh, for
tackle,
sure.
you know?
Yeah. And then Marshawn Nealand, of course. If Nealand stays, I think you can mark him down in Sharpie as a starter.
Really? Okay.
Next question. Which position group was the best last year? Man, what a question. The running backs had a good year when you look at it in perspective.
Wow.
They didn't break a lot of big runs, and it was very inconsistent. But when guys came in, they kind of played their role pretty well.
That's actually not a bad call.
The offensive line was actually improved from 2021 to 2020 or 2022. Kicker, yeah, there you go. Cole Becker had a great year.
Yeah. I mean, Russell.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty good. Tight end, maybe.
I see what you're getting at, Gearhead, with Tyson and Montana at wide receiver. But, I mean, RJ Sneed was a disappointment. Arias got benched to special teams at a certain point.
Yeah, they started 4 different quarterbacks. There was never a game where you were like, oh, man, these wide receivers.
Yeah. Lawrence says Rick George was the best last year from the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
Shout out
it's
Mike
a great
Sanford
question
also.
because there might not really be an answer.
Yeah. Who else we got? Papa. You guys need Uncle Luke on the show. That would be a massive get.
If Uncle Luke will come.
Yeah. If he's down.
Well,
This has been like going on in the chat, so please.
So I learned who Uncle Luke was when he came and visited. Do you know who he is?
you guys got to watch the 30
There
for
you go.
30 on Miami. Come on. This is it's college football history right here,
Yeah.
Uncle Luke.
Former rapper with 2 Live Crew, of course.
Yes. It's all about the U, right?
Yeah.
That would be his claim to fame. And he's another Florida boy and was visiting Coach Prime recently in Colorado with his grandson, I believe.
Son or grandson?
Son or grandson. And even though he's a Miami guy and Deion's a Florida State guy, there's a ton of love between the two of them. And yeah, I mean, he really did his thing in the 80s, not only as a prominent kind of Miami, I don't think alum is even accurate, like supporter, and kind of added to that swag and stuff. But he's also one of those guys from, 3 decades back who is coming out of that area and having success and really kind of an inspiration to the other kids from Florida coming up and seeing a black man who was successful like Uncle Luke was really meaningful to a lot of that generation.
Well said. You nailed it better than I would have.
There you go.
From Angela, she asks, what do you think about Uncle Luke telling Deion to hire a NFL guy to help recruit junior and grad, assuming you mean transfers who are set to go in the 4th and 5th round? Uncle Luke told Deion to give NIL to them. I mean, this is kind of a trend we're seeing already with not even upperclassmen. Well, I guess you have to technically be an upperclassman, but like Blake Corum at Michigan came back probably because he got offered a freaking bag in terms of NIL. It's becoming just more and more prominent, where these schools are starting to offer these day 3 players, like Angela said, like, hey, like, I get you want to get to the NFL, but here's more money to play this year in college, try and improve your draft stock, and then you can try again to get that NFL contract, which...
Right. And if you dump 6 figures on a kid's lap and he's on that, those 6 figures for 1 year is going to be about as appealing because the contract's not as long-term. You're not starting the clock on being able to make that first big NFL contract, which is your second NFL contract. But you're able to be a legend on campus for 1 more year while making 6 figures.
Right.
It's not the worst.
Not at all. At least 6 figures, too.
Right. Because guys like CJ Stroud might not declare yet.
He declared today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, a competitive offer for someone like that is not 6 figures, it's 8 figures. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Blake Corum's situation, I mean, it was reported he got paid $2 million in NIL this year.
Yeah.
And with Michigan's program to pay guys to come back,
then that dude's
knows?
also like coming off an injury, you know,
right?
Like that complicates things.
And literally top player in the nation. True about Corum plus Harbaugh coming back. Is Harbaugh coming back?
No, that's basically, and right as we were going live, Rappaport was
he confirmed it.
Yeah,
go Blue. Do we have any other questions?
What a rascal.
Yeah, Anthony Robinson's situation is weird. We talked about this guy quite a bit, man. I don't know. He came out and said he was committed to Coach Prime, had a weird Photoshop that showed him in like a plain white jersey standing in Folsom Field. He's not listed as a commit on any of the recruiting sites. So, yeah, who knows?
Huh.
Yo, Deus, did you see the Well-Off episode where Coach Prime plays a song he did with Snoop? I did see that, actually.
Yeah,
did you see that? He's got a feature.
Yeah.
Do you think he will have a new theme song at CU? I don't know the name of his actual theme song. I, of course, know what it sounds like, but that just fits him so well. I'd struggle to see him changing his theme song.
I loved in another video where Bucky's like, oh man, he's blasting the music.
Yes.
He's just like, you can hear it in the other offices. Oh God, he's the best.
And Coach is just sitting there at his desk, just vibing.
A little vibing, man. Oh, come on.
Rick said he can't wait for Snoop to come. Mystical, Here I Come. That's the song.
There you go.
So,
yeah. Is that everything?
I think that's it, guys.
Okay.
Trelo asks, who wins last year? CU versus 2022 JSU, and what's the score? JSU probably wins that game at least by a touchdown. It's probably a 1-possession game. I say that, but then I think about who CU had at quarterback, and it's like, there's no way.
No,
they turned the ball over too much.
That's the thing. Like, so again, this poor man had to cover 4 starting quarterbacks last season. If the starting quarterback was quarterback number 3, Owen McCown.
Yes.
I think I set that spread as like JSU minus 8.5.
That's a good line. Yep.
If it's B-Lou, Brendan Lewis, hammer the under, and it's probably JSU by 14.5.
It's like 35-10.
Yeah, if it's JT Shrout, it's probably 13.5. I think there's maybe a point difference between him and Belu and anyone else. Forget it. You're talking about more of a 3-touchdown game. So.
Yeah, if Maddox Kopp is playing, I had
hashtag.
How many
tough scene.
quarterbacks did I watched? JT, I watched Brendan, I watched Owen, Carter, and Maddox. I had 5 quarterbacks, and Jordan Tyson threw a pass.
And Jordan Tyson threw a pass. So yeah. Yeah, you think he deserved the program turnaround, some fun, exciting recruiting news? I'd say so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
John asked, any news on the Ralphie meeting? Haven't heard anything yet. That's going to be amazing content when that comes through.
Absolutely.
Dwayne, what was the offense like last year? Was it a lot of 3 and outs, leaving the defense a ton on the field? You could say that.
Yeah, Dwayne, it was.
It was a lot of just bad play, Dwayne.
Honestly, the year prior was maybe even more 3-and-out city.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, CU this year was more like moving backwards. I mean, we're punting on 4th and 15, 4th and 20 a lot because JT's getting sacked or fumbling the ball.
Yeah. Most drives were like dead in the water before they even started.
Right. There's Gearhead throwing up the passing stats. It was abysmal. Literally the only positive plays were bombs to Jordan Tyson, who averaged like 19 and a half yards average depth of target. Like
right.
They were bombing it to him or nothing was happening.
Right. Like the man was literally making miracles occur last
Yes.
year. Yeah. You guys need to understand that when we talk of Jordan Tyson.
Snoop was featured on Shiloh's rap song when Shiloh was on his team. All right.
That's cool.
I think that's it.
That's going to do it.
Great show. Yes. Thank you so much for filling in, Dre.
It's a blast.
Admirable job,
I'm going to miss this now, and I will stay. I'll stay tuned into Well Off Media, so anytime you need to call me off the bench, I'll be ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Time, so, yeah.
Big shout, Dre. Shout out producer Tiff. We'll be back tomorrow. Arcade will be back tomorrow. Maybe back in Studio A. We should be back in Studio A.
Oh, of course, of course. Yes. Just the Avs playing right now on this beautiful Martin Luther King Day.
Yep.
Happy MLK Day to everyone.
Happy Martin Luther King Day.
And thanks to Illegal Pete's for presenting this.
Yes, shout out Illegal Pete's presenting sponsor. As I Swear TV said, time to go watch Well Off Video, guys. See you tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.